Hey guys, before we get started, just wanted to say thank you to all of our awesome partners who helped make this possible, including Trinity Medical, Hicks Chiks, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Gregg Vet Hospital, and all of our partners that you see on the screen right now. When you see them, make sure to tell them thank you for helping us do what we do. Hope you enjoy the show. Hey guys, Ronnie and Shannon here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We have our buddy, Mr. Tom Graning, in the house today. How are you?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're glad to be here. Tom, I know you want to get the joke in because
Okay, so I was left out of the stock venture. So they came in, and my feelings are hurt a little bit.
It's a Miss Lou Champion first. We're wearing the same sock. And I wore this because I wore this because Tom is you're a fellow Tiger, and I was like, I'm going to wear my purple. And I went to my sock drawer and I said, man, those are the perfect socks to wear.
And I almost had my LSU shirt on.
So, and I have my Wardo's hat, and I was like, I'm going to wear it all in honor of Tom here. So, so what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of start from the beginning. I think I'm very interested to hear sort of your story from the beginning, and we'll just walk through it. So, you want to talk a little bit about growing up here in Natchez?
I grew up in Natchez, went to Cathedral, 1984 graduate. I went on to Delta State, where I played football my freshman year, and kind of got away from football after that.
Okay.
And graduated, moved back here to go into the business with my dad and my brother. Well, I've been in the business all along, but when I got back from college, to be in the business full time.
Okay.
And we kind of worked. I did a little bit of everything. I did everything from mowing the grass to delivering gas to pumping gas to running the convenience store to a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. And I just kind of took that, and then my brother and I bought the convenience store from my dad, from the family company.
Okay.
And that was in 1990. And we had it ever since until he died in 2019.
Wow.
So
I don't think
it's been a long time.
Like, we don't realize that. I guess we've always known it's there, but you don't realize the time frame.
It was a full service station, did oil changes and had a small little convenience store inside it at one time. And in 2000, we rebuilt it as a Chevron. It used to be an Exxon, and rebuilt it as a Chevron.
Yeah.
And it's been 23 years now. Yeah. Coming on 24.
And I want to kind of hear, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Go Mart here in a little bit. I'm kind of interested in sort of growing up here in Natchez. Because you've got a pretty big family.
Very large family.
What was it like? What was your experience growing up here in Natchez?
Incredible.
Did did you have about 90 cousins in your class? And
I'd had 3 in my class.
Yeah.
One of my best friend was in my class, and we grew up since we were toddlers, living 2 or 3 blocks from each other. Doug Mallory, and we went to Delta State together, and just have been very tight all our lives. And my best friend, growing, still to this day. And we just and had sisters and first cousins that were classes, one behind another for a long time. And with 6 of us, 6 of my family, 5 in another one, and 4 in another one, and 2 or 3 in the other one. So we were all right there together. Yeah. So it was an incredible experience growing up in Natchez.
When we first met, I met Tom, and he's, that's my cousin, and that's my family. I'm hearing all these different last names, and I'm starting to put it together. I'm like, all right. They're related to everybody.
Be careful. Be careful.
And the crazy thing is, for many years, I lived next door to his sister.
Yes.
And so when I had Molly, like Margaret, and so she would not only take care of me, but took care of Molly. So when Molly got old enough, Margaret had the candy drawer.
Yes.
And so by the time Molly knew, she would get out of my vehicle, and there she goes. So helped raise many, their own, and then
many others,
extended.
Many others.
Did you have? Did you tell us a little bit about your parents? Do you have strict parents, or
very? I wouldn't say strict. Very demanding. Very caring. Took care of everybody, not just our 6, but everybody. Yeah. And everybody loved that. They could always come to our house to either vent to my mom or get advice from my mom or get advice from my dad but they weren't strict, but they had good control of us. And they taught us well.
I was going to say I figured that was going to be the answer, because between you and all of your siblings that I know, and really the extended family that I know, everybody sort of is that, hey, let me take care of everybody
And that's how it was.
and do the best that we
And
can.
it's still to this day the same way. My parents are no longer living, but still to this day, the family's still like that.
Yeah, it's kind of passed that down
Yes.
on
That
you.
legacy has continued
Yes, it has.
for sure.
So did you play sports at
Yeah,
Cathedral?
I played all the sports: football, basketball, baseball.
Were you good
track.
at any of them? Or?
Some.
What was your
Well, I
favorite?
think I was. My
What
favorite
was your
was
favorite
football.
sport?
Well, you played football at Delta State, so
Yes.
apparently you're pretty good at
Football
that.
was my favorite. But as like I said, growing up, we did them all.
Yeah.
We didn't specialize in anything, and I think that's what made all of us so good that we went from one sport to another. And
So they had football, basketball,
baseball.
baseball. Did they do track,
Track,
or
I did
anything?
track.
So they had track back then.
And track, yes.
Okay. See, whenever I came through, they have track now, but
Yeah.
we didn't even have a track team.
We had a track team. I didn't say we were very good. We had a track team. We had a few good people on the track team, but
Yeah.
it was a lot of good experience.
Yeah. What about some teachers that you had that kind of made a difference? Do you have?
I had some of my teachers that taught me in first and second grade that are still very good people. Really, that are around. They're still around. We've lost a few recently, but just watching them, they taught me. And then when my kids were starting in Cathedral, they were here.
Yeah.
And then they moved away. My kids moved away, but those same teachers stayed for a while, and it was just incredible watching them take care of the different generations of kids that came through, and it was great.
And you probably had. I'm kind of putting you on the spot with this because there's probably a lot of them. But are there any that just really jump out to you that kind of made an impact on you in high school?
Coach Beasley for sure. Mm-hmm. Just coaching football and baseball, and he would fill in for basketball too. And then not only that, but I got to coach with him later.
I was about to say,
and that's what was so incredible. You got you played for him, and then we're coaching with him.
Yeah.
And it was very, very. You learned a lot.
Yeah.
Learned a lot of good things from them. A lot of good. Coach Garcia and Coach Mike Durr. Another good one was Karen Foley. She taught me when I was in elementary, and still a good friend and good Tiger to this day. They're very good Tiger fans. But yeah, it was just very good experience there.
Yeah. Well, you've been a part of it for a long time, so it must have been
still
good
a part of it.
yeah.
So did you go to Delta State?
No, I went to USM,
Okay.
the other teacher college.
Okay.
Yeah, I did contemplate the other
right.
teacher college because those are the two universities in
So
Mississippi.
you thought about it? Okay.
I did.
Okay.
I visited Delta State, and it was almost too far away. And then I went to Belmont College in Nashville, Tennessee.
I didn't know that.
I did.
Learning that?
Oh, if
I didn't know that.
Learned
I
that today.
got homesick, which is not a bad thing. But I got homesick and came back home, and now I'm kicked myself.
Well, two of my sisters went to Delta State also, and were teachers now.
Mm-hmm. So those were the two universities
Yeah.
that I looked at when I came home from Belmont and even in high school, because I knew I wanted to teach.
Yeah.
I kind of flipped around nursing a little bit. And I knew I wanted to teach. And so those were the two schools that I looked at. But USM kind of won out.
What took you to Delta? Was it
Playing
the
football.
scholarship? I mean,
Well, no, I walked on to Delta State. It
I
was
walked
a
on, okay.
Preferred walk
You
on
had-
type deal, but that and had 3 or 4 of my good friends from high school that were all going.
yeah. So your siblings that were already there, or they came after, like,
No, Kathy had been there. My older sister Kathy had been there and was home by then.
and she played basketball,
basketball,
there, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yep, I don't know that.
So
Yeah.
so
So you had.
I knew a lot about Delta
Yeah,
State.
yeah, you were familiar with
I knew a lot about Delta State, but those very close friends, going there also, we all just kind of went together.
Yeah.
And then my roommate my first year is still one of my best friends this day. Almost 40 years later. So.
Who is that?
Trey Roberts. He
Okay.
lives in Texas, but he's from Port Gibson originally.
Okay. He's a fellow fighting okra.
Well, we didn't become the Fighting Ochre until later on, but
Oh, really?
probably my senior years when they started using that.
What were they before that?
That's still the Statesman, but
The state. That's what.
yeah, the Statesman.
Okay.
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 But they're just
So that's where that.
silly mascot.
Well, I'm sure the fighting ochre gets a lot of national.
It gets a lot
love,
of
right?
national attention.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
That's cool. Some of the things so after you want to hit on anything at Delta State as far as like your years there? And...
No, I was in fraternity, and I was there till 80. I guess I graduated December of 88. So I was on the 4.5-year plan.
Yeah, look,
So,
I'm not going to say what plan.
I wish I would have gone longer.
To be on the 4.5-year plan, because then when you get out, you're like, oh,
yes,
can I just go back?
I want to go back. And, but yeah, I had a great experience. Made great friends. It's close enough to home that we came home a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still a part of Delta State?
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff with the Alumni Association.
Okay.
For a number of years.
Yeah.
So it's a great place.
Yeah. And then, so after you left Delta State, you came back to Natchez?
Yes, came back to Natchez to work.
To work for your dad?
For my dad.
Okay, so now you were getting into that a little bit earlier. And you knew, did you know Tom then?
No, not then.
Okay.
I probably knew who he was because I graduated in 89.
Okay. Yes.
And then, so when I went off and came back, kind of knew the names, because it's Natchez, so you know everybody.
You'll find out.
Or you know names, and we always went there.
Okay.
And so on that, of course, I grew up on the other side of town.
So you were going to Go Mart back in the day?
Yes, because my parents' mom moved out towards Trinity, out in the fields.
That's right.
So she was out that way. So I spent a lot of time pulling in there.
Well, see, I didn't know this until we talked one day. That's why I kind of wanted to. You touched on it earlier, but I kind of just wanted to give you an opportunity to tell the story, because I thought it was interesting, because I just assumed that it's always been the same, because that's the only way that I know it. Mm-hmm. And you were telling me one day we were eating crawfish, I think over at Wardo's, and I was like, I had no idea. So tell us kind of the evolution of Go Mart, how it started.
My dad had it, part of our Graning oil company, back when I was probably, I guess, sixth or seventh grade. And it's when he got it from another dealer, Exxon dealer. Mm-hmm. And I worked there pumping gas, doing all this stuff. They'd drop me off out there and pick me up at certain times. But doing that forever, it was called Plantation Exxon. And then, like I said, when I got back from college, my brother and I bought it from the company and ran it the same way, kind of for. I mean, it was a tough run, because the building was falling in. It was leaky roof. Every time it rained, we were like, "Oh my God, here comes the rain!"
Where the
bucket. It was tiny.
Now I know why they sold it to us.
The building, the convenience store was no bigger than this small area right here. It was really small. But we did a lot of business there.
So and then the mechanic.
We had mechanics there. Did oil changes, car washes, and.
So kind of paint a picture for me. If I'm looking at Go Mart from the gas pumps, how did
the convenience store was on the right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that right side.
And then we had two bays, which were the oil change bay and the car wash bay.
Where the Go Deli?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. It was just an old ranch style service station, and that's how we ran it for a convenience store for a long time, and then finally did it in year 2000. We shut it down. Well, we didn't really shut down. We moved a trailer in and hooked the gas pumps up and tore down the convenience store and rebuilt the convenience store. And then at one point we ended up having to shut the gas pumps down to put the new gas pumps and all that in.
Because
we operated as long as we could.
The laws changed, like with the updated gas pumps.
Yeah, we had, but plus still we just had to modernize. Mm-hmm. And it was we went as long as we could in that trailer until we finally had to shut it down to make room.
That. Now I remember that.
And that was in 2000, whenever you...
2000.
So, okay.
So in May of 2000, we actually started in 1999, in the fall of 1999. And May of 2000, we opened officially as a Chevron. And it was Go Mart. It had been named Go Mart after we moved from Plantation Exxon. Kind of slowly went from Plantation Exxon to Go Mart. And Go Mart was just Graning oil. Mart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Graning oil. Oh.
That's what we came up with.
I learned that today. I'm learning all kinds of stuff.
We had an original location out on 61 North where McDonald's and whether it was Domino's in that area.
Yeah.
That was just a big open area, small little store right there. Okay. And we had a store there that was called Go Mart. So.
Did you know that it was Graning Oil Mart?
Did not know that it belonged to. No, did not know that. Did not know that.
Yeah. So we started using the name Go Mart and just been like that ever since.
Well, so whenever you guys did that, was it still small, or did you go ahead and go to...
No, it was small then. It was still small then.
So what was after that? When did you kind of get over there on the other side and all that? Is that more recent, or...
What, on the...
Well, just,
We tore we wiped the whole place off. We just completely went to the ground and
Wow.
rebuilt from the ground up.
Wow.
Yeah, everything on that lot's been is redone since then. So.
And now you're so busy, you might have to do it again.
I would love to do that again. We can't build up, though.
I was about to say,
The only way we can do it is build up.
Yeah, you can have the state's only two-story
two-story
store. Yeah,
I wish we could do that.
that's right. Look, the Go Deli is so popular, you could probably have a whole second floor of nothing but seating.
I would love to do that.
I guarantee
Gary
There's
it.
nowhere to park if you do. That's
Talks
the
about the
problem.
breakfast all the time.
You'd have to run a bus. You'd have to run a
bus.
trolley.
Yeah, trolley, catch the bus.
Yeah. So whenever I first came back, I was doing a lot of charity events and stuff like that. And Tom reached out to me multiple times. I'm kind of wanting to kind of shift into some community involvement and stuff because you do so much. And, we really didn't know each other, but he would see that I was doing this event or this cause or whatever. And he'd say, hey, I want to help you out with this or whatever. And I was like, man, that's a really nice of this guy, And the more I got to know him, the more I saw, man, he's generous with everybody. He does a lot for a lot of different people. And some of the things that we can see what we got on our list here, but there's a lot of different things that you do. And we can kind of touch on some of these if you want to. But, I mean, just a couple of years ago, it was an honor for me to be there. But you're looking at a Natchez of the year right here.
This past year, yes.
Yeah.
Past November.
Was that a surprise?
Very, very big surprise. I went there thinking maybe, we did the booth there to where we serve food and all, but thought maybe, maybe small business or something like that. Just if we did, because I noticed all my family was there helping work and do all that.
Right.
So maybe that's what's going on. But that other was a very big surprise.
Yeah, and then they start kind of talking about you before they say the name.
Yes, and I started thinking some of the things they were saying. I said, "Whoa, that
sounds
familiar.
Sounds a lot like me."
So yeah, it was such an honor. An honor.
Yeah, and it was an honor for me to be there that night. I have a picture with you that night, and it was just I was proud. I was proud for you because you were very well deserving.
Thank you.
Well, it just continues that legacy of giving back and
I think your parents
you're right.
have been very proud.
Exactly. My dad was very much like, and I've been trying since they both passed to live life the way they did it, and follow their footsteps because I want to be like them, and I strive to be just like them, in everything I do, and it's tough. It's tough keeping up with it, but it's very rewarding.
Yeah. Another thing that you just recently did is you were St. Patrick at the
very honored
crew of Killarney.
Crew of Killarney, St. Patrick number 32.
Yeah,
and it was pretty cool. That was a great event.
That was fun, man.
That was a lot of fun. The weather worked out perfect. It was cold, really cold and nasty that morning, and
I remember
lunchtime it opened up and it got cool, but it was sunshine. It was a great day.
That was the first time have you ever done the little, so that was the first time that I've ever done it. And
when you drive the snakes out?
Yeah, drive the snakes out.
We're all down there by the church, and I'm asking Melissa, I'm like, where's Tom? And she's like, right there. I was like, oh, that's Tom.
We had a pretty good outfit for that.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Tried to go all out on that one.
Yeah, so what you've been a part of that for
a number of years, yeah. It's a great organization. Raises money. We have an auction a few weeks before the actual parade, but that auction raises money for scholarships, and they give all the local high schools a scholarship, high school senior scholarships.
Okay.
And I got the honor to present those this year at each school, which was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice. So whoever
a lot of good people go.
Whoever is St. Patrick has that honor each year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it was fun seeing these kids receive the money and being able to give it to them. But a lot of good people work a lot of time on getting that ready for St. Patrick's.
I think people don't realize the behind the scenes that go through all of that piece. Like we see the fun part of it that day, but to know that you've been in it for a couple of years and the people that, and then there's a lot of us that are like wondering, what do we do? Like, how can we give back? Well, here's ways to give back.
That's ways to do it. It's like I said, we try to promote the auction, the dinner and auction, a while ahead of, a good bit ahead of time, and then hopefully have a good crowd. We had a great crowd this year for it and raised a good bit of money. And then all that money goes to scholarships.
Right, and every little bit helps. Even if you can't be there, just donate. I think that's the hardest part of
always
people
accept.
Yeah, and we're always here. So if you guys in any of this stuff that we're talking about or have so far, we're here to help.
Thank you.
Get the word out for you in any way that we can.
Only hit you up.
Yeah, that's what I think you got my number.
I got it.
And then one that we talked about with Rusty when we had him in here was the Santa Claus.
Santa Claus
you're on the Santa Claus committee, is that right?
I'm on the Santa Claus committee.
Tell us a little bit about that. That's an interesting one.
It's my family started it.
Okay.
Over 100 years ago now. It was an organization that is of businessmen that basically came together to raise money for underprivileged children to hopefully give them a great Christmas. And it just grew, I guess, over the number of years. And I've been in, I guess, since I got back from college.
Yeah.
And it's a fun time.
Kids loved it because I never remember, we always ended up at Mom's on Christmas morning or Christmas Eve.
Yes.
And so when we'd run out there and then you didn't know like the route and you missed it. And you had to figure out where they were next because then the kids are like, we didn't get to say. Then you had to run around and figure out. So it was your fault because you were in the kitchen not paying attention, and then you're like, I've got to get to the other neighborhood. It's a second
Christmas parade, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
It is, but it's the candy and it's the Christmas Eve, so kids are excited, parents are excited.
Right.
So.
And we go to Braden and Santa Claus hands out the gifts to the kids, and it's a really humbling experience to sit there and watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel really good about what you're trying to do.
Yeah. And I hear it's a little bit of fun involved too.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun involved.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. And then, so you guys as a family you guys do something at Braden School? Is that?
Yeah, that's what my family hands out the gifts. Gets the gifts together. My Uncle Johnny Junkin.
Okay.
Basically runs it, that part of it, and gets all the gifts together during the year. And my family hands it out to the kids.
Yeah.
Well, it gives to Santa Claus to hand out, but they organize all that and they work on that all year, and it's
that's pretty amazing. You do some stuff with the stew pot too? Is that right?
I try to donate as much as I can to the stew pot. I love the just being able to do that. It's I think I got something today and showed that from January to August, maybe they've served over 60-something thousand meals.
Crazy, and now they're in need of food.
Yeah, and
right
they're still in need of
so.
food, and we gave some food, some canned goods to them, but it's never enough.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
that's one of the drives we're doing at school.
Yes,
is to replenish that for them.
But it's very needed in this community.
Yeah,
and encourage you to go serve at it if you've never
I've done that before. I actually
go do it.
Myself and William D's one Christmas Eve morning. We went. They needed some people. We went up there one morning and served through lunch, and that was a great feeling.
We did it a few years with Key Club,
Yeah.
like sometimes just community service when I was at Natchez High and other entities. But if you've never had the
always in
opportunity
need
to
of help.
serve, go serve.
Melissa's been doing it with Betsy Mosby a little bit lately, and she's really enjoying it. Like, I don't know about enjoying, but it's very fulfilling.
Well, fulfilling, humbling. It's like I said.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in this town you can do to
show that light, to be that light for somebody.
You need it.
Yeah. And then Wright was mentioning to me that you're on the board of the Mississippi Petroleum
Marketers Association. Okay. It's just a organization of petroleum marketers, which are basically distributors of fuel products all over the state, and convenience stores.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of fact, I'm going to a board meeting tomorrow, but it's that was a great honor too, actually, because most of them are all big companies that have 30, 40 stores.
Yeah.
And here I am with my one store, and
they
asked me to be on it.
They were like, well, it says here he's been working there since he was 6. So I think
he may have something he can share with us.
Close to it.
They're doing the math. They're looking at his age. They're like, he's been there. So he's been here a while.
Give him a shot.
He started early. Yeah. And then kind of shifting a tad bit is another thing that you've done is you do a lot with Cathedral Sports. I mean, you've done a lot with Cathedral Sports over the years, but not only did you play there, you also coached there.
I coached there.
And you've just been doing so much for Cathedral. Talk about
your involvement
Take care
of the athletic facilities.
Yeah.
I've always done a little bit of everything with the C Club. I've done everything.
Yeah.
It takes that though. I don't know. It's I guess just still a pride in the school.
I was going to say, what do you think that passion comes from?
Just growing up there, and my family before that, growing up there, and watching that growing up, watching the families that came through that took part, and their families before that took part. I mean, it was just one of those things. It was kind of like a obligation almost.
Yeah.
That once you were there, that you took part and you helped.
It's that responsibility
to make it work, and that's the reason that school's been around for 175 years now. Is that kind of dedication to families taking care of it. And once I was there, just doing stuff. Some of it became cutting the grass and doing all that became kind of therapy. Just putting your headphones on and just going.
Yeah.
And but yeah, just I don't know. Some of it's enjoyment.
Yeah.
Right.
Pride.
There
Trying to
you
make
go.
things
I
look,
like the pride.
trying to make things look great.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Just having the kind of ownership. That's what that's kind of what I found with some of the, especially with Cathedral, is there's a lot of people who really take ownership.
You do take ownership. Like I said, and that's why that school's been so successful over the years, is the ownership.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the beauty of a K-12 school too.
That's right.
Because I've been a part of a few, and I was a part of a K through 8 school. But to be amongst the little ones and then to watch them grow, and now to be a part of a K through 12 school again, it just kind of brings back that, that ownership, so to speak.
It does, and watching families, like I said, families grow up in there. The kids start there and end there. It's just
and then
it's great to see, and then their kids, and I'm seeing kids now that are in there now. Some of the kids that I coach, kids that are coming up through there. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of it kind of makes you feel a little different.
When you see somebody and you're thinking, "Oh, I'm not," and then they're 40 and have kids.
And speaking of kind of seeing people come up and coaching and sports and different things like that too, we'll give you a few minutes to kind of brag about your sons a little bit and tell us a little bit about them.
I have two sons.
I know Wright a little bit better, obviously from seeing him around town a lot. But
I have two sons, Thomas. Mm-hmm. Who's turning 30 this January.
Wow. Yeah, he and Eric are close in age.
Wow, yeah, and he graduated from Ole Miss. He works for Ole Miss as a photographer.
Yeah.
In the communications department.
Pretty cool gig, yeah.
If you ever watch TV, Ole Miss games, you'll see him somewhere in there. He's always on TV in there. He's also an EMT and a volunteer fireman with the Lafayette County Fire Department. So he's kind of that passion too to do that. He's always loved fire trucks, and growing up he did that. But he's such a hard worker, and he works for the paper and on the side, and just such a quality kid, great kid.
The only bad thing is you got to watch an Ole Miss game to see him.
Well, you do. You're right.
That's the only bad part.
Or you go up there and stay with him just like a few weeks ago.
And, you didn't know what to do, did you?
And you get beat.
Yeah.
So he knows my thoughts, but I respect his.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
And my youngest son, Wright, who moved back here right after Ward's death, and helped run the stores and stuff for me, and he's part of Wardo's. He coaches at Cathedral also. He kind of took my place at coaching at Cathedral, coaches football and baseball.
Okay.
He's
got to make you proud.
A lot. I do. It makes me very proud. He's doing a wonderful job at Go Mart.
Yeah.
And just taking a lot of load off of me. So, but he's my LSU fan.
Yeah.
Thomas and his mom, Stacy, are the Ole Miss crew. Ole Miss crew. So, but yeah, they've always loved Natchez. They've always, they only lived. Thomas was 6, I think, when they left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and Wright was 3, 4, and but he was at Cathedral. Both of them were at Cathedral at one time, and but when they moved away to Troy, they always just loved coming back to Natchez, and they still, Thomas still this day loves Natchez and loves everything about Natchez. Yes, it's home. It still feels like home to them.
For sure.
It's not too late if you're watching this, Thomas. It's not too late come over to the Tiger side, you know.
Oh, it is too late for him. I've got pictures of him when he's little in LSU gear, but it didn't last long.
We still got a little bit more room to come over to the
He
Tiger
didn't like
side.
for me to show him, but
Yeah.
Hey, they'll leave you out. I didn't get socks.
So another, I'll give you kind of the floor, and we could be here all day talking about family, but let's talk about, and we're going to talk about war a little bit in a few minutes with the restaurant and everything, the story behind that. But talk about your siblings, and you know some of them, and talk about your siblings.
I've got 4 sisters, and 3 are older, 1 baby sister, and we're just also close. That's really, I mean, and that's why I do most of the stuff that I do. It's for them to honor them and make and feel like as the male of the family that I need to, you know, to try to do everything I can to make our family great. And we all work together on everything. Literally everything.
Literally work together.
We work together.
Yeah.
And
they'll be back there.
And all of them either, you know, we all work at Wardo's, or there's times where all of them are working at Go Mart.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, it's just great having them. You know, not everybody gets to have all their siblings right here. And Jane and Sam, my brother-in-law Sam, live in Monroe, Waterfront Grill, but they have a house here, so they're here all the time.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, everybody is still here, and that's, you know, you don't find that very often.
Yeah.
Especially in Natchez.
Right, and I remember going to their restaurant.
Yes.
Probably one of the best. Like, it was very relaxing, just very homey. It was one of
award-winning up there. It's a very great place.
And he opened that on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
He told me that.
Sure did.
He said we did not have a soft opening.
No, it was straight into strictly business.
He said they said I was crazy, and I said, well, I already know that. So
they've got a great place though.
Yeah.
But yeah, just, I mean, it's, you don't find that very often. All the kids being in one area like this, and I feel very lucky to be able to have them all so close.
So which one of your siblings is your favorite?
I'm not going to say. I've been asked that. I've been asked that many times, and I've got 4 of them I have to deal with. I'm not gonna deal with it.
I didn't think I was going to get an answer on that one, but you know, I like
you know, we went on
like the stir pot.
We all went on a trip. I took them on a trip right after Ward died. A little ways after that, and my dad, and we went. It was all 4 of us and 2 nieces. And we took the RV, all of us, and went on a trip to different SEC schools to sprinkle some of my dad's ashes at places where he officiated.
Right, because people don't realize he did that.
He was a football official for 30 years.
Forever.
SEC, yeah.
An SEC official?
SEC official for about 30 years.
That's a big deal.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's where my love of LSU came in, is that when I was real little, I used to go with him to scrimmages and practices and games, and that's where I fell in love with it. But we went on this trip, and there were those 4 and 2 of my nieces and myself, and it was a wild trip. We went from Tuscaloosa to Knoxville to Chattanooga. Tuscaloosa, Chattanooga to Knoxville, back to Oxford, down to Baton Rouge. We caught those on this trip, but it was all of us in one RV. Yeah. And I was the only male. So it was a very interesting trip, but such a rewarding trip. It was
what
great.
A memory.
Yes.
That's really cool. Are you easier on officials because
no, and that's why I'm not an official. Because when I saw what my dad, I was in the stands a lot of times when they were doing all the yelling.
Yeah,
and it's like, no, I don't need people yelling at me like that. Being a coach was bad enough, but officials even worse.
Well, I can remember when I had a good friend and her husband coached baseball, and so I was the Diamond Girl sponsor, but we did not sit in the stands.
No.
We went around and sat at the end of the dugout and just had our chairs, and because we just couldn't win. So I can only imagine.
Oh, it was tough.
It would be like for an official.
Yeah,
very tough.
But you don't cut them any slack today.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
no, I don't.
It's
I understand a little more, but I don't cut them any slack.
Oh man. So let's see. I think now we kind of shift gears and talk about your brother Ward and talk about who he was and what he meant to the community and whatever you want to say about him, and then we'll shift into the restaurant now and kind of how that came to be.
Yeah, Ward died in 2019 unexpectedly. He's married to Susan, and they have their daughter Bailey, and their stepdaughter Shay, and their stepson Hunter. And he was just an incredible father, incredible brother to all of us. Like I said, we all learned from him, watching him, and the examples he set.
Yeah.
You couldn't go wrong. And that was from when he was in high school and beyond and before. People just loved everything about him, and so it was hard not to like him.
Yeah.
There's times I didn't.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
We had our fights.
The brotherly love.
We had our brotherly
right.
love, but and even as business partners we did, but it was still, it was being able to work that closely every day with your brother it was incredible.
Yeah, because there were many times I would come in there in the mornings and you guys are working.
Yes.
Like the cashier
We'd be at the register.
Both of them.
We started,
and they would be in there working. So it was.
You ever see any black eyes or anything?
No, we never.
Never saw that.
We had fights when we were younger, but that was it. But,
yeah. At some point, y'all figured it hurts too much.
It's too much to do that. But people in the community really love Ward, and I don't know. It's just he was a great guy.
I'll give you an example of something that I know you'll enjoy hearing this, make you proud to hear it. Susan, y'all had a little thing the other day for the balloon races and all of that. And I was talking to my buddy, Charlie Hugg, who plays it a lot. He's played it several times.
He's always played it for
Yeah. And I said, you've done this before and this and that. And we were on the phone and he said, man, I tell you what, I love Ward. He was like, that dude, he was my guy. And he was like, he just made you feel, he was just a cool dude. And
he made you feel like a family member.
I didn't realize that Charlie knew him. And he was like, oh man, he's like, I love that dude. He's like, he's an awesome guy. And he said the same thing about Susan. He was like, man, she's so sweet. He said, she's one of those people that even if you don't really know her, by the time you leave, she's like, hey, I love
know her.
this and that, and I'm here and this. And he said, first time I ever met her, I just felt like I've known him forever.
Yeah.
But he just went on and on about, because I didn't realize that he knew him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, man, he was a great dude. So I knew you'd appreciate it.
I do. Cause like I said, and you hear that from everybody.
That's one of many.
Yeah. So it's not unexpected.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, I do everything I can just to try to keep up with that. It's hard, but that's what I strive to be every day.
Yeah.
And
that's a unique thing. I mean, you lost a brother, a friend, a business partner. I mean, there was a lot of
moving parts.
Yeah, a lot of holes to fill.
A lot of adjustments after that.
Yeah.
A lot of adjustments.
He played ball. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, he graduated from theater also, and he's quarterback. And he went to Alabama. We went to a place called TMI, Tennessee Military Institute. It was a prep school out of Knoxville. And he went there for one semester and played football, and then transferred to Alabama, and walked on to Alabama, and was on the team with Bear Bryant. And
it's pretty cool right there.
He actually received the 315 ring, which was Bear Bryant's winning wins. I mean, from all time, he was all-time leader at the time, and he had a ring from that because he was on the team that did it. And that was just, he was undersized, but he's such a competitor, fighter.
What position did he play?
He played at the cornerback there. Like I said, he was just undersized, but he gave everything and he was there.
Maximized his potential.
Maximized, yes.
Yeah. And so I guess that kind of leads us, knowing his background and everything now, probably one of the coolest stories of a business that I've ever seen, to be honest. You want to walk us through kind of how this came to be, Wardo?
Yeah, we've been talking since he died a few years about kind of my sister Jane and Sam has been wanting to get back here to do another business, do a restaurant, and we just threw around a bunch of ideas, and we really didn't want to get into a restaurant business, a full-fledged restaurant business, and we just throwing out ideas, and next thing Poboys came up. We're like, it's really not many places to do just strictly Poboys in town. There's some, but we started really just hammering it out and finally decided to let's go with it.
Yeah.
So the first thing we did basically was start throwing around the idea of the name, and Wardo's popped up. That's how he was known as Wardo by a lot of his friends.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So that's where the name just jumped out. So once we decided that, it was like, it's on. Yeah. We're going for it.
Yeah.
So we started looking for buildings. We found one, didn't work out, and we just kept looking. And this one, the one we have now, just kind of jumped out.
And what a perfect location.
Yes, and it was a great location. There was not much to it when we got it, when we looked at it. Yeah. There was not much to it at all. So we had to do a lot of work to it to get it ready. But yeah,
I came over there and met with you guys several times, and just to see where you were at, and it's pretty cool seeing it come to life.
We all kind of joined it. My sister Margaret Beasley, and my young son Wright, myself, and Jane and Sam went in together to do it. And like I said, I say we're the owners, but all the siblings, I mean, my sister Sissy and Sister Kathy, they're both there a lot.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of work, and we couldn't do it without them. But yeah, we started that and just started rolling and started throwing ideas out as far as how we wanted to do it, and started coming up with the recipes, and one thing led to another, and we opened in August of
August of that's what you like, year. Potato salad.
The potato salad's good.
That's
and I remember when it started coming about. I was still in Gulfport at the time, but the Facebook posts started, and so I can remember thinking, "Oh, I want to go there." Like, not only because I knew the history behind it, but then also I knew it was going to be really good food.
Yeah, and that's we've tried to make it really good food, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah,
I'm proud of that because I hear, a lot of good reviews and stuff, and it's.
Oh man, I've got buddies that come from both directions. They're all coming through, and they'll say, "Hey man, I hear you talking about Wardos all the time, so I stopped by there. Dude, that was good." And I came up with that little line that's "Po' so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country."
Yep.
And I called him. I said, "You care if I say that on the video?" He was like, "No, I like
Use it. But it's been a great experience for all of us. A lot of work, but a great experience.
Yeah, and y'all were just touching on two things that I think are really cool, and they kind of go hand in hand. And I'll let you talk a little bit about both of these. Is the recipes and also the menu names.
The menu names, basically, I guess just about every one of them come off of something with the family.
Yeah.
That's Susan's recipe. So the potato salad. The Junkin, we just do the Junkin because it's a family name, and we just it's a great product. Mm-hmm. The Wardo is basically the signature dish, which is the roast beef with the gravy, and it was Ward's favorite. Mm-hmm. Anywhere he went. The barbecue shrimp is Sambo, which is Sam wings, and they have a wonderful barbecue shrimp recipe and seasoning that they use. So we use that, and it's just
so a lot of these names are also the recipes that
and then like the Lambert's ladies pralines, were my great aunts, the Lamberts, who had the newsstand right across from the right behind where Wardo's is now, and they did pralines during pilgrimage and stuff at their newsstand. And we use that recipe. My sister does those, and it's the only
problem I have with Wardo's is I eat too much. Okay. The problem is I want to eat like 9 of them, and then they mess around and they get some shakes over there, and I'm like, man, this is not good.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It's so delicious. I don't know if this is true or not, but they said they call it the Tom Turkey because he was a turkey.
Oh, that's probably why they named it that. I didn't come up with that name, so I don't know where that one came from.
Yeah. So somewhere behind the counter when you weren't around, they're like, okay, what can we do for Tom?
Exactly. They threw that one out there.
But that was the first thing that I had. I would say the Tom Turkey is probably my go-to. But
that's what I had the first time I went. I had the potato salad. And then Darren had the Wardos, and so that's what he gets every time.
Yeah, and now the menu's sort of evolving now. I mean, you guys are doing
different things. We're adding things to it. Yeah, we've always had gumbo and rib beans every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's some of our signature dishes. Actually, is the red beans for sure.
Yeah,
we did those at the festival this weekend. They were a big hit.
Look, I lived in Baton Rouge. I lived in South Louisiana for 20 years, so I'm a pretty tough critic whenever it comes to that type of food. And have you had their gumbo?
The gumbo I've had is really good.
Yeah, it passes the test.
I've not had the red bean chips. So
Try the red beans; it's very good.
Swing out and do that.
But I think
I'll be hitting out of here because my stomach will be growling.
The junkin is probably it's not my favorite to eat, but it's my favorite because of the way we do it. It's just we send out videos of how we do it all the time. But it's a eye of the round roast that we season, cut up, and sear it, and then put it back in the roaster and season it more, and then let it cook overnight. So the next day it's ready to go. It's so
good. I'm headed there after this myself. But now I'm trying to figure out
which one to get.
We need to do a sampler. You need to come in with a sampler plate.
I think we can come up with
that's what we need to do is a sampler plate. And then you've got something that you said that you were going to participate in coming up. I know we wanted to touch on this before we get out of here.
So to kind of continue what you guys do as a family, you now have the run. So the Wardo's Rudolph run. Of course, as you know, I participated in 1 year, and then we are going to do again this year. So give us a little info on what we do.
Last year, I guess because they had the Holly Half Marathon, and we participated in doing that by just like being a stop. And we had so much fun being that watering stop that it became a big party, and we just had a great time for a couple of years. Yeah. And it was at my house, and then when they decided not to do it, we were thinking, okay, well, this is such a fun event. Let's take it and run with it. And last year, probably about this time, we looked at it and we said, let's look at this date, and we said the date looks open. Let's go with this. And we started putting it together, and it was Dana Dupre did a huge amount of work for it, and we got it together. I don't know how we got it together though, and we made it possible. We had about 150 runners, I think, for that first event, and it was fun. It was so much fun. It was just a day-long party down there at Wardo's.
I was out there. Yeah.
It started at Wardo's and goes, it's of course through downtown or throughout downtown on a 5K and a 10K, and then a 1 mile fun run for the kids. But it ends right there at Wardo's. And where it ends at Wardo's, we just have a big party. There's trophies and all. So this year's December 9th, Saturday, December 9th. I'm hoping to get about 300 runners this year. All this money goes to the Ward Graning Memorial Scholarship, which we formed after Ward died. And we gave high school seniors different amounts of money for them to use however they wanted to use it. For any kind of living expenses of college or whatever they needed it for. This year we're giving a scholarship to each senior at each high school, Cathedral, AC, Natchez High, and Concordia Parish School kid. So we're kind of spreading it out and trying to make it a big community event now, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I want to encourage everybody too. Like, you don't necessarily have to run it.
No,
you can walk it, and so that's what we try to tell a lot of people.
Or just show up and
fun and just give back to just register. Come out, have a good time.
We've got posters out, and you can see our Facebook post. We've got a QR code that you can scan to register. Do it all online. It's going to be a fun event.
Yeah, you can also. I know from experience, you can also donate and hang around and drink beer.
That's right. You don't have to run at all.
So I know that.
A little.
Yeah, I moved a little, going back and forth.
I remember that last year.
Bouncing around, talking to this person and that person.
I'm going to make you walk it.
Yeah.
It's a fun event. It's going to be a fun event.
Yeah.
We're going to trying to make it bigger and better every year, trying to draw some people from out of town and
it'll be fun.
Just have a good time.
Yeah. And then lastly, I guess on kind of wrapping up Wardo's is I just thought about this a while ago. Is the logo is pretty cool.
We incorporated the houndstooth from Alabama into it. Like I said, it's been tough on me. All the Alabama stuff at the place, but yeah, it's that's what we did. We incorporated the houndstooth into the logo for Ward and Wardo's. And we have a lot of memorabilia around there with just pictures of the family, pictures of him everywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just makes it a fun family gathering place.
Yeah, people come in and I see them looking at the pictures on the walls, and I kind of I'll kind of sit over there and just watch them, and you can see them. You can see them looking at each other. You can see them light up and pointing, and sometimes it'll be couples that knew him, or sometimes it'll be like a a mom and a kid or something like that, and she's pointing, and that's a really cool aspect to have in there.
It is. It is. It was a good addition to the restaurant.
Yeah.
So,
Shannon, you got anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, I think I just, want to thank you and your family for all that y'all do for our children. Of course, my heart's going to go there first, but even the adults. I mean, you guys are a family that people can look up to.
Thank you.
And to, be a part of. And so just thank you for all the things you do for the community and our kids.
Well, thank y'all.
Yeah. And Tom, always, is there anything that we missed that you want to talk about or cover? Or
no, just sign up for the run. And come see us at Wardo's and Go Mart. And come eat it on Go Deli.
On Go Mart and on the Go Deli, where I fill my tank and my belly.
Exactly.
And if you might be able to tell from the camera, I fill my belly there a lot. So
that's our slogan.
I try to get Dustin to edit some of it out, but I'm filling my belly too often is what I'm doing.
I love it.
But no, we certainly appreciate you coming in, and it's an honor to have you here, and I'm really glad to be able to share your story. I mean, a lot of people know your story, but to hear it from your mouth, and I know it makes you proud to carry on Ward's story and all of that.
It does. Well, thank you for your partnership and everything we've done, and that's what makes this community what it is.
Right.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But yeah, we're grateful for you to be here, but we're grateful guys like you help us do these things and get out in the community and do the stuff that we do. So we certainly appreciate that too. And if you're watching this, we hope that you enjoyed Tom's story and some of the other stories as much as we did. And I encourage you to come out to the run. It's not only a good time, but it's for a great cause.
Great cause.
And anytime you can combine good time and great cause, that's a win for everybody.
Win for you.
Yeah. We appreciate all of our awesome partners out there. Again, Trinity Medical, Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Hicks Chiks, Wardo's, on the Go Deli, everybody that you see on your screen right now. Thank you to everybody on there. Try to do business with them. They help us out. They help us do what we do. So thank you to all of them. Just thank you to everybody out there. God bless. And as always,
have a champion day.
Hey y'all, my name is Katie Bellamy. I'm the physical therapist here at Trinity Medical. Physical therapy is a health profession intended to promote, restore, integrate, and maintain physical health. We accomplish this through exercise, manual therapy, electrotherapeutic and thermal modalities, and neuromuscular re-education, and a variety of skilled interventions. We treat pediatric patients, orthopedic patients, neurological patients, post-surgical, and specialize in fall risk assessment and management. Physical therapy helps identify and improve physical deficits with conservative treatment, which allows our patients to get back to the quality of life they deserve. If you have a physical therapy need, come see us here at Trinity Medical.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We want to tell you about our awesome partner, Dr. Gregg and Gregg Veterinary Hospital. Gregg Veterinary Hospital has been providing comprehensive, reliable, cutting-edge veterinary services to pets in the Miss Lou since 2002. They welcome pets of all shapes and sizes who are in need of emergency treatment or who require routine medical, surgical, and dental care. Dr. Gregg and his team offer a long list of services, including in-house laboratory diagnostics, digital x-ray, soft tissue, orthopedic surgery, dental care, extractions, laser surgery, laser therapy, preventative health, and wellness plans. And if you need grooming and boarding services, they do that too. So call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today.
Play to win our Pumpkin Patch Progressive and Black Friday weekend drawings. It's time to gobble up over $50,000 in winnings at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. It's always a good time.
Visit magnoliabluffscasino.com.
Just wanted to say thank you to all of our awesome partners who help make this possible, including Trinity Medical, Hicks Chiks, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Gregg Vet Hospital, and all of our partners that you see on the screen right now. When you see them, make sure to tell them thank you for helping us do what we do.
Hi, it's Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. If you like what we're doing, be sure to follow, like, share, and even comment on all our content. Also, visit MissLouChampions.com to sign up for our newsletter and to receive other information, as well as the opportunity to receive some awesome prizes. Thank you, Miss Lou, for your continued support, and as always, have a champion day.